Created over 2 decades ago, the Pokémon franchise is still thundering along. The third best-selling video game franchise of all time, Pokémon has been a childhood memory for 2 generations, and it's been reinvented more than a few times. The first Pokémon game, Pokémon Red and Green, was released for the Nintendo Game Boy all the way back in 1996, and since then the lovable creatures have graced everything from the Wii to the Switch. From handheld Pokémon gyms on the DS to the weird and wonderful augmented reality Pokémon Go, we've caught them, trained them, traded them, and photoed them. Pokémon is big business, and over the years hundreds of new Pokémon have been added. There are now more than 700 known Pokémon, all with their own strengths, weaknesses, and quirks. But which is the most formidable of them all? Which are the most powerful Pokémon? That's what we're about to answer, once and for all. Spoiler alert, Pikachu doesn't make the cut. Sorry, casuals. First up at number 10 is Reshiram. Introduced in Generation 5, the majestic snowy white legendary dragon, Reshiram is far from as harmonious as it appears. The Pokémon equivalent of X-Men Storm, Reshiram has the power to control the elements, altering the weather and world's atmosphere at will. How? Its tail generator, of course, a massive plume surrounded by 2 large bands. This tail holds the sheer thrust of a hyperspeed jet engine. Reshiram is no angel, and when its emotions surge, its overdrive mode means it's time to concede. Once charged, Reshiram's tail has the power to drop a nuclear fusion flare bomb on some poor unsuspecting Pokémon. Toasty! The game mascot of Pokémon Black, Reshiram doesn't do rare or medium, only extra crispy. On number 9 is Geratina. Geratina may be a pain on the eyes and look like a caterpillar on roids, but not every Pokémon has had its own movie named after it. The star of Geratina and the Sky Warrior, this draconic Pokémon was banished to another dimension known as the Reverse World for being too violent. If that wasn't badass enough, Geratina can change form, manipulate dark matter, and warp reality. Immune to physical damage and highly aggressive to anyone who comes on his turf, Geratina is one tough cookie. Aside from his appearance on the big screen, Geratina is also a recurring villain in Pokémon Adventures, a manga series that Pokémon's original creator, Satoshi Tajiri, said he wanted every Pokémon fan to read. There aren't many out-and-out evil Pokémon, but Geratina is pretty close. He still came to Ash and Sheena's aid though after a bit of TLC. At 8, it's Palkia. A deity in the Sinnoh region, this legendary Pokémon is said to be just chilling between dimensions, as water dragons usually do. It may look like a knockoff of the weapon bosses from Final Fantasy VII, but Palkia's spatial ren can literally rip through the very fabric of space to deal devastating damage. He created space itself. Deep down though, Palkia is a gentle soul, and even challenged Pokémon god Arceus himself to protect Ash, his friends, and the rest of humanity. Fighting for justice? Now that's true power. Palkia is a formidable legendary Pokémon, capable of creating portals to different locations whenever it feels like it. Plus, Palkia is on bounty duties, making sure Geratina never escapes from his eternal time out in the distortion world. Number 7 is Dialga. The third musketeer of Arceus' creation trio. Dialga helped form the Pokémon world itself. Geratina created antimatter. Palkia made space. But let's be honest, if we've learned anything from Avengers, it's that time is the power to rule them all, and Dialga has time mastered down to a T. In the majority of Pokémon games, Dialga's unique special Roar of Time can force the enemy to miss an entire turn, while in the movies, Dialga's powers even sent Sheena, Ash, and the gang back in time. To save the world, of course. Aside from commanding incredible power, Dialga is also one of the coolest looking legendary Pokémon, and highly unpredictable on the battlefield of any Pokémon game it is blessed with its presence. The most formidable of the creation trio, Dialga commands respect. In at 6 is Rayquaza. Game mascot for Pokémon Emerald, Rayquaza is a sky-high Pokémon that boasts ferocious power. Legends say the ancient Pokémon roams the upper atmosphere, feasting on meteoroids, harnessing their energy, before dining on feeble Pokémon in the arena. the leader of the legendary Weather Trio. Rayquaza is said to be millions of years old, but this serpentine beast is still as death-dealing as ever. A third-generation Pokémon, Rayquaza instantly became a hit with fans, who loved its design, and more importantly, its might. Its signature move, Dragon Ascent, walked the fine line between astronomically good and chronically overpowered. But Pokemon fans all marveled at its destructive power. No wonder it was a regular on the competitive circuit later on. On top of that, Dragon Ascent also unlocked the possibility for a Mega Evolve. And Mega Rayquaza on release was so obscenely powerful, it even had admins slamming down the ban hammer. With incredible offensive stats, super speed, and the ability to two-hit KO basically any Pokemon at the time, Rayquaza was the cream of the crop in his prime. On number 5 is Ho-Oh. We know what you're thinking. What's a flying peacock got on the creators time, space, and antimatter? Well, quite a lot actually. Ho-Oh, the legendary guardian of the skies, has the power to resurrect fallen Pokemon. Plus, even seeing its beautiful rainbow-colored plumage is said to bring eternal happiness. Only appearing to those pure of heart, Ho-Oh is a fun Pokemon twist on the Phoenix, and has appeared more than once to save Ash in times of need. But this is a top 10 for the most powerful Pokemon, not friendliest. And Ho-Oh has some devastating moves. Sacred Fire, its former signature move, not only dealt damage but also had a 50% chance to burn an enemy. Ho-Oh's ability Pressure makes an enemy lose power points through combat. Plus, its hidden ability Regenerator allowed Ho-Oh to drag out battles. You wouldn't guess by looking at it, but Ho-Oh's lightning speed and blazing attacks made it one of the deadliest Pokemon around. At 4, it's Lugia. While Ho-Oh guards the skies, Lugia is the defender of the seas. Lugia wiped the floor with the other legendary birds to become their leader in the second Pokémon movie, and with wings powerful enough to level the building, it's no surprise why. Lugia may choose to live in a deep-sea trench, but when he rises from beneath the waves, very few can survive his critically lethal Aeroblast. The face of Pokémon Silver and the Lord of the Seas, Lugia dominates in the competitive Pokémon scene. It may look like a weird mix of dinosaur, dragon and bird, but Lugia is doing the world a favour by residing under the waves, given just how cataclysmic those massive wings can be. Able to calm and create storms, Lugia is one Pokemon you definitely want to be on your side of the arena. In at 3 is Mewtwo. A genetically engineered Pokemon, Mewtwo was a science experiment gone awry. Created by splicing the DNA of Mew, the ancestor of all Pokemon, Mewtwo turned into one nasty piece of work. The villain of the first Pokemon movie, and still regarded as one of the most powerful Pokemon ever, Mewtwo is vicious, savage, and ridiculously powerful. Engineered for combat, Mewtwo's signature move Psystrike targets the enemy's defense, is 100% accurate, and deals catastrophic physical damage. With the power of levitation, telepathy, and even mind control to boot, Mewtwo is up there with the best of them. Mewtwo's psychic Pokemon type means he is weak to very few moves, and in terms of raw stats, Mewtwo is still pretty stacked. In Generation 1, no Pokemon came close to Mewtwo, and even now he's still a boss, especially as he can evolve into Mega Mewtwo Y and Z. Number 2 is Kairem. The strongest Dragon-type Pokemon in the world, Kairem chooses a life of seclusion in an abandoned mine. Those who dare enter its lair, however, have felt the true force of its might. Able to change forms at will, Kairem rises to any challenger, and none may flee or interfere until a battle is over. You just have to take one glance at Kairem to realize he's bad news. And if DNA splices are involved, well then, you're going to face his alter egos, white and black. Kairem's wrath is devastating to put it mildly, and takes the form of a mighty icy energy that freezes its own body and its opponents. Known to eat Pokemon and humans alike, Kairem is a stone-cold killer, and his base stats make him the greatest Pokemon of all time. Well, almost. And at number 1, it's Arceus! What could be more powerful than Kairem? A god. Known as the Original One, Arceus shaped the world and everything in it, protecting the planet in ancient times, and fashioned the creation trio, Dialga, Palkia, and Geratina. However, Arceus does not suffer fools gladly, as we witnessed in Arceus and the Jewel of Life, where the Pokemon God went on a rampage after being betrayed, and could only be stopped by going back in time. Rayquaza may feast on meteorites, but Arceus can cause meteors to rain down from on high. We're still at a loss why you can catch a god at all, but hey, if you've got Arceus, may as well stop catching. You've peaked, friends. All things begin with Arceus, and with this kind of firepower, it can ensure all things end with it as well. The one true alpha Pokemon. None come close to the absolute power Arceus wields. All hail, Arceus, god of Pokemon. Can't argue with a god coming out on top. But with new Pokemon on the horizon, even Arceus might meet his match one day. For now though, he is king of all he surveys. And without a doubt, the most powerful Pokemon of all time. I've been David Jarrett, and this has been GINX Esports TV. Thanks for watching.